cancer. And so there's a lot of things like that in my story, because I said the big thing is when we think of a gift, we think of something all nice and shiny and we're excited to get it. Most of the gifts that I got through my life were not something that I was excited about. I was frustrated. I was angry. I was dejected. But in the end, I found a way to make it work and to maybe help someone else later in life. And so I've used that as a blessing, that if somebody else gets into a tight spot, I've been through it too. They may not know that because I hide it very, very well. But I've been down some very dark roads, and I'm hoping I can be the person to help somebody else walk those roads themselves.
Thank you, Jodi. Yep. You're such an encourager to so many people. And, you know, the why that Jodi talks about, her why is makes sense. And so she does. She solves complex problems all day long. It's just what she does. So we're so excited for you to share your story and get that out there to the world, Jodi. Thank you for just being you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Melanie?
Yes.
I guess I could be reached on Facebook, and also, did they have my email anywhere?
Yeah, we're going to put it all there. We got it all there.
Okay.
You're good.
Well, I forgot to tell you guys that.
Yeah. You're so cute. All right. Shauna, we're going to go to you next. Shauna is part of the John Maxwell team, and I actually met her through just social media. We were chatting on the John Maxwell pages, and we met for lunch, and we just became heart sisters. And I said, you know, I'm trying to finish this project, and I would love for you and your story to be included in here. You're such a compliment to every single other author, and you bring so much joy to the world. And so Shauna is going to talk to us about her chapter, and just Shauna, thanks for everything that you do to bring joy to everyone.
Thank you, Melanie. That lunch that we had, we sat there in the restaurant crying, and we were there for hours. The poor waiter kept coming up. He didn't know what to say to us. The poor guy was so awkward. We had to keep saying, "We're good. We're really good." My chapter is called Finding Joy in the Impossible. My website is journeyonyourself.com. My name is Shauna Snyder. I am a regional director for Weichert Real Estate Affiliates. I am as Melanie said, a Maxwell Leadership certified coach, speaker, and trainer. This is my second book. I wrote my own book and self-published it during COVID. So the way it all kind of came about was in 2018, I was laid off. My company downsized, and I'd never ever lost a job, and I've been working since I was 14. So it was pretty devastating, and it kind of spiraled me into this kind of a dark place. And I also started having this stirring in the pit of my stomach that God was just saying, "There's more coming. There's more coming for you. You need to prepare yourself." But I didn't really know what any of that meant. I couldn't verbalize it to anybody. But one day I heard God speak to me and say, "Tell your story." And I've had some stuff, but everybody's had some stuff. So I kept telling myself, your story's not any different than so many people out there. Nobody wants to hear your story. But that gut feeling didn't go away. So I decided that I would blog. So I told my husband I was going to start a blog, and he said, "Well, what are you going to talk about?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like God is telling me to do this." And so he said, "Well, how often are you going to blog?" I don't know that either. So what I said to myself was, I'm only going to blog when I feel the urging of the Holy Spirit telling me I've got something to say. And the weirdest things started happening. I would wake up in the middle of the night with something just like screaming to come out of me, and I'd have to get up and go to my computer and type it up. Some mornings I would wake up and just these thoughts would come to me, and I would sit down and I would just type, and I didn't know where any of it was coming from. I'd never been a writer before. I never wrote in the school newspaper or anything like that. But I started having people reach out to me from this blog saying, "I needed this today. You helped me today. God sent me a message through that blog today. I just, from people I'd never heard of, from people I hadn't seen for 20 plus years. And so I knew then that there was something that God was using through all of this. And so during COVID, I lost another job. So 2 jobs in 2 years. And I spiraled even more. But I tell you, this time, it only took me a couple days. I remember waking up on a Monday morning and I just was like, okay, you've got 2 choices. You can stay in this pit where you're at, or you can drag yourself out of this and go do something. And thank God I chose to dig myself out and do something. I joined the Maxwell leadership team. I got another job very quickly, but I also wrote my book called Finding Joy in the Impossible. And I just tell my story. It's a story of an abusive childhood and an abusive marriage, and then infertility. I couldn't have a biological child, and then marrying somebody with kids, and all the step parenting that comes into play, and all the things that happen with all that. And so that's what I decided to write about. So it was just basically my story. But the amazing testimony in this is God turned my mess, and it's all been so messy, into a huge message of joy. And joy is my middle name, and joy is the guiding principle that gets me through life. And somehow through all of that, I've been able to find joy. And so I know that no matter what's happened in people's lives, you can heal, you can grow, you can forgive, and most of all, you can find joy. Do we forget? Do those things still scar us? Of course they do. It's taken years of counseling and praying, and God really having to heal some parts of my heart for me to find forgiveness. But I have found joy, and I know it's possible. So that's my new thing. I'm telling people now I'm a champion of joy, because I know that's why I'm here, and that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So that's what I am. I'm a champion of joy.
Love it.
Yes, you are. You're amazing. And thank you for bringing so much light to the world, because you just bring it. You would never know the things that you've struggled with. And I think that's the perseverance and the attitude that all these women have. It's whatever has been challenging to you that you're an overcomer. So just congratulations. And thanks for being a part of this, Shauna.
Thank you, Mel.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go in order of the chapters in the book, because I think that's really important for this one. And so, Stefany, Dolan, I'm going to have you go next. And thanks for being here. You're going to learn why these 2 ladies are connected, why they're so important in my life. I love them. We've done so much together over the past several months, and actually last year is when I met them, and they're amazing. And they really speak to my heart, because it's about finding your belief and what you do. And so, Stefany, Dolan, thank you again for just being here and being a part of this. And please share your story.
Yeah. So I just want to start off by thanking Melanie for getting this wonderful group of women together. I think that I was writing my chapter pretty late in the game. So I'm honored to have been asked, first of all, but seeing all of these stories come together in a really cohesive way that just showcases all of us, but there tends to be these common threads through all of our stories. It almost looked like we planned it, but we had the opportunity to, write about transforming moments in our lives. And Melanie, it's a fantastic idea, and I'm just honored to have been a part of it. But my name is Stefany Dolan. I have, in my previous career, was a dental hygienist. I still help out in some of my very favorite offices, but my primary job now, changing career, is with Because One. But my chapter is really before Because One got started. My story starts back in the dental field, in a place where I feel like even as a kid, I was very strong-willed and very confident, and at times kind of loud in those things. And I was just in a situation where I lost myself, and started questioning a lot of my capabilities and where I was going in my life. And got to a place where like I said, I was just lost, and I was small. I've never been a small personality by any means, but I was definitely a smaller version of myself. And at a point in my life where I had lost a job, and that was a complete blindside, and letting myself kind of sit in that a little bit and feel those feelings, but in an organic way, being able to reflect back at that time, and the journey and the roller coaster and the chaos that I'd been on, and pull out pieces of that journey to carry with me on to my next journey. And it turned out to be a beautiful thing where I was able to continue on in the dental field in a wonderful office that I was probably one of the hardest decisions I've ever made was leaving that to start Because One with my family. So the journey was a one of learning, but I've been able to take, again, those little bits of, when you go through really hard things, there's nuggets of learning that can happen through that time, and being able to carry those with me into this next chapter with Because One has just been a beautiful thing. So the fun thing is I get to do that with my sister. So she's my sister. And I think that's there's a lot of favorite parts about Because One, but being able to do it with my sister is one that's up there in the top 2, probably.
These ladies are pretty special if you didn't already know that. Oh my gosh. I just love you girls. It's what they've created, what their family created, what their energy is, and you're going to read so much about their story and why it's so important. And yet you think about the people in your life that you don't really tap into, that you may not think about as having access to something that you could do. It could be a potential that you need to have or you need to reach. And I always say this, those people that really aggravate you sometimes in your life, and you're like, but who thinks that they have value, right? There are other people in the world that see them as like, they can't live without them. And so we all have gifts, like Jodi said, and we need to really think about, what are the things we're trying to achieve in our own life? And who is right beside us that actually could help us? Like Lachelle, collaborator girl. Like it is so important. So, so thank you, Stefany and Stacia. You guys are you have my heart for a lot of reasons. They help me with my nonprofit, which is Making Everyday Leaders Incorporated, where we are helping at-risk girls at Shortridge High School this year. And we have been there every single day, everyday leaders, every day. And the community just surrounded us to give back and to help these girls be stronger leaders and invest in themselves. But these girls came on my podcast and I said, I need your help because I need your platform that you have created. And so, Stacia, I want you to talk a little bit about your story and just, how all of that happened, because without you, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't have the success that I have. And it's just these moments that you meet, it's these moments that you meet. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Stacia. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Mel. And thank you again so much for not only the opportunity to write a chapter and tell our story, but also giving me and my sister that opportunity. It's been a fun thing to compare chapters and just kind of see the way that our lives and our paths in the professional realm of things were able to cross again. So I'm Stacia Jones. I'm also an owner of Because One alongside my sister. My chapter in the book is called From Idea to Impact: How One Family's Idea is Transforming Lives. So the main premise, the main theme throughout my chapter is about taking the time to make sure that you're present and that you are actually acknowledging and recognizing the opportunities in front of you. Also making sure that you're not quieting the ideas, that you're not quieting your gifts, and that when God says you're going over here or I'm opening this door, to be obedient and lean in to your idea. So our family, the idea that just got so loud was centered around not only helping nonprofit organizations, but truly by transforming lives by giving each and every person the opportunity to make a difference. There's such an amount of joy that you can really only feel and experience when you're able to help your fellow human being. So we provide a space for all of our nonprofits to be able to clearly communicate their needs. What do they need for the mission and for the communities that they serve? We also further the reach of every one of our nonprofits by introducing them to a new and engaged audience. And then also raising awareness of what our nonprofit partners are doing throughout the year. So we truly believe that every good deed has the power to inspire the next good deed. Unfortunately, with a lot of the ways that we give currently, we feel great about it. The organization, the person that we helped feels great, but that good deed kind of stays in that transaction a lot of times. How do we take one good positive action and turn it into the next? So that's all about Because One, but you'll see in the chapter kind of those points of impact where our family couldn't ignore this idea any longer. Too many doors were opening, too many chips were falling into place, and how me and my sister were able to come back together and work in the professional realm, not only together, but making such an impact. And nonprofits are the groups that know where the gaps are. They know in our communities who is hurting and exactly what they need. So it's been just such a pleasure to come alongside Melanie for her nonprofit and many other nonprofit partners that we've come alongside. And something too, as Melanie was coming to us with this idea, and it was, everyday moments, lessons that transform lives. I'm like, transform lives. This is what we do. And, something that I love is that the transformation and the stories that we're telling is, of course, for the readers, and is of course there for people to say, oh wow, I've experienced that as well. But along the way, it's transformed all of us. And that's something too that I think, Jodi, you kind of spoke to in the way of those gifts, where it's painful at the time, but when you look back, that's the moment that transformed you. And that's the moment that there was joy, and that's the moment that there was transformation and growth in ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This has been such a therapeutic process, hasn't it?
I think I want to buy the book.
I know that's right. I'm like, this is good
Definitely.
All right. That's right. That's your pitch. Go to Amazon right now. Everyday Moments, Lessons that Transform Lives. We need your help. We need you to buy the ebook for 99 cents because we are trying to get to #1 Amazon bestseller. And that category, we are climbing. We are climbing quickly, but we need a few more books. So if you could go there right now or when you're watching this and just purchase that for 99 cents, even if you're going to see us live and get your autograph copy, even if you're going to go to an event and get the hard copy or order the book on Amazon, we need your help for that. Just 99 cents today so that we can get to that #1 Amazon bestseller listing and just celebrate, because these women have worked so hard and waited so long, and we are just celebrating the journeys of life. And, anybody can do this, but not everybody does it.
Yeah.
Not everybody does it because it's hard and it's vulnerable and it is important and it really changes you. So I just want to encourage people, get this book because it will change you.
I love this, and I really appreciate everybody sharing and being so transparent. I find that is really where the relatability lies. A lot of times I went through my own journey of depression for 13 years. I was hospitalized 3 times, and I had so much guilt and shame around that. But when I learned to tell my story, that was the thing that other people related to. and resonated with. You know, all the time that I tried to cover it up, pretend I was perfect, and, you know, like I didn't have any problems, it wasn't really relatable to people. So I love how you guys are sharing from the heart. And, you know, I'm ready to get out there and work.
I know, right?
I'm ready. Okay. Anita, did you have something you wanted to add?
Well, this has been amazing. Let me just say, ladies, you all, I mean, my God, my hat goes off to you. You know, mentally, I know how hard it can be. Lachelle and myself, we're in an anthology of 31 authors, and I have no idea how you all do it. I have thought about doing it myself, but when I hear the story, you know what? I appreciate the work that you all put into that. But I just had one question, maybe for everybody. I don't know if we have the chance to get into it, but my one question for everyone or whoever wants to chime in on it is, how has telling your story? Because I know if you all were like, I'm not a writer, but anyway. Yeah, so how has telling your story, you know, helped you to see yourself as an author or writer, and how has it felt to impact and empower others?
I'll be happy to answer that, or at least as well as I can for me. I think that it's important for all of us to impact others as much as we possibly can. Everyone is a leader in some way each day. You know, we aren't necessarily all leaders where we work, but we are at other points in time. And I'm not talking about somebody that has a title. Yeah, there's a positional leader, but I'm talking about leadership in the way that John Maxwell talks about it. Because a leader is a person who is proactive. I recently joined a senior center. I moved about 6 months ago to a smaller city. I live in the Austin, Texas area, is what you heard me say initially. I'm actually in a little town you've probably never heard of. It's called Buda, B-U-D-A. And it's only, I don't know, probably 20,000 people compared to the million plus in Austin. But the community is so welcoming. And it was exactly what I needed when I moved. I had been living in the same house that my husband had passed away in a number of years ago. And I had let that house just kind of envelope me. So reaching out now, and I've realized I can be back to where I once was, where I'm outgoing and helping others and talking to people and telling them about my experiences in the hopes that it's going to help them. So to round that back to writing, I'm not going to stop writing. I've been writing the last several days. And I had started a book, golly, I think it was before Melanie even brought this topic up. And I wrote probably 5 pages of it, and that was the end of it. The title of it is Two Blessed Women. TWO, but in parentheses, TOO. So both ways, two blessed and two blessed. And I'm talking about my mother and my grandmother because they led such exceptional lives for the period of time that they lived in. So I think it's something that can help others grow, just hearing their stories also. But thank you for having us on here. This is a tremendous way to help others. And I think that's what all of us want to do.
Yeah. And Anita, I'd like to tell you too, Anita. So as a teacher, you know, and I taught high school, so I never got hugs. I didn't get those things that you get when you're an elementary teacher. And it wasn't until years later that I would hear back from students, and I would find out things that I had done that I had no idea. And so this book for us, you know, some of these stories have been ruminating in our minds and our hearts for years. And this for me is a way for me to finally get those hugs. And it may be from complete strangers, but it's from somebody who I've helped to be able to move off their stuck spot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, I love that. I love that, and I can identify a little bit with that. My mom was a teacher and principal for 20 some odd years, and I never, teachers do not get the credit they deserve. They definitely don't get the pay they deserve. So I just commend you for the work that you've done, especially with high schoolers. I remember being in high school, and I was something else. Okay. Something else. Thank God for salvation. But anywho, and Kelly, I actually used to live in Texas. Me and my ex-husband are both ex-military,
Okay.
and we
San
were
Antonio?
in Killeen, Texas,
Oh, Colleen.
Fort
Okay.
Hood. Right, we were in that area. So a lot of my story that I tell in my book that I'm writing now, my solo project, is some of the things that happened with me in Killeen, Texas, and Austin, and all those places. I had a traumatic marriage in the beginning, and I went through toward the end, 16, 17 years later, a 6-year divorce. So, I minister and I talk to women about, transitioning from that and, going back to being a single mom and all those things. So, I can identify with Texas and all the little towns as well.
Anita, everybody has a story, right? That's the thing. We all think, oh, my story's not good enough or nobody would want to hear it. But, John Maxwell, one of the very first things I remember him saying was, you will reach more people by writing your story than you ever would just speaking one-on-one or being in groups. Like, get to the point where you can write about your story and you're going to really change the world and make an impact. And I think I want to encourage people, just get started. Like, even if it's a blog, like Shauna said, if it's something on your heart and you want to share it, and you even want to share an experience, it's really important that people can connect to something that they say that matters to me. And I believe that too. And so I think that's really kind of the essence of this book, is helping you believe that you can, and knowing how to take that action step to do it. And
Love that.
so
And it is Share a Story Month, I think. You know how I get on nationaltoday.com.
Yeah.
So share a story, that's what I want to encourage everybody. But, one thing that was coming up when you were all talking is that you don't have to do it alone. A lot of times, I just know for myself, I was an only child. So I was used to doing things by myself, but realizing that you can get a team, a group of people that can help you on that journey, as you continue to find your voice and build your confidence about some of these hard topics that, we have navigated through. So you don't have to do it alone. Collaboration is a great way to do it. And get your copy of the book today.
Yes, get your copy of the book.
Love.
We have 3 more authors. Shelley Bays is a John Maxwell coach, and she has an amazing story about a future and a hope. Chris May she's a girls hockey coach, which we connected and went to nationals and did some amazing things together. But she's got some experience about relationships, in her chapter. And then Angie Wood talks about just her faith in God from a traumatic brain injury and coming back and relearning how to do a lot of things in her life because of a physical injury that happened. And it really turned into something that was unbelievable. And she's really working herself in her way back. So, every single story will touch your heart. It will change your heart. It will change your ideas about the things in the world. It's being launched right here on Mother's Day. The real book will be available, and you can go and buy it from Denola's Enhanced DNA publishing site. We have an author page, and anybody can go right there to Enhanced DNA Publishing. You can find everyday moments. I was in mentoring moments with her, everyday moment, and you can find the authors, and you can buy the book from each one of these ladies and have them give you an autographed copy. And that's what I love about working with Denola and Enhanced DNA Publishing. She just preciously carries you as an author, and enhances you and takes care of you and makes sure that there are things along the way that you don't know how to do, and she just does them. She's like my little elf, you know. It's like Santa Claus. She's like, "You need to do this, and I'll do that." But I love her, and I've worked with her on a lot of projects, and she's really been patient to help us make sure that we got everything that we needed to tie this one up. And so I'm just really proud of her. And then one more shout out to Bonnie Shaun. Bonnie found me. I was on a summit with a group, and Amanda Rose did a just one of those, you know, summits that she interviews a lot of people. And Bonnie heard my story about just my life and some of the parts in this book. And part of it was being on the Bible study every morning. I think we had been on it for like 500 days or something at that time.
Wow.
And it hit her in her soul. And she thought, I wonder if this person's really authentic about that. You know, I mean, does somebody get on a Bible study every day? And so Bonnie shows up on Memorial Day a couple of years ago, 3 years ago now, it will be on Memorial Day. And she hopped on and she tells the story of, like we said, hi, Bonnie, you know, welcome. And she's been on every day since.
Wow.
And she just says for her, that's what she needed in her spiritual growth. And she just really connected to the messaging. And she has changed our lives so much and helped us grow. But it's those one little things, you know, and my chapter is about maximizing your moment. And so it's thinking again about the things that you do right now, that if you just took that action step, what could it turn into, right? What could it turn into? You got to check it out. So anyway, but that's really the compilation of people, and their hearts are so big. And I'm just, I'm so honored, Lachelle, that you said yes and that you wanted to host us, because it's so important what you do. And we appreciate it. And Anita, it's so great to meet you.
As well, all of you ladies, you all have touched my heart this evening. I appreciate it so very much, and I admire that you all are all, you know, must have gone through the training with John Maxwell, because I went through a brief one with him and myself years ago, and learned about servant leadership, and it, you know, he's awesome. So I love him, so I know I love y'all too. Okay.
He's the inspiration behind a lot of this. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. But,
well, we really appreciate you guys coming on, and you know, just being you. You know, that's another thing with collaboration. You know, in the past, I used to think, oh, I have to do everything perfect and, you know, conform and try to do everything. But, you know, when you just show up as yourself, you know, you just never know how you can impact other people, and just sharing your story can encourage somebody else. So we wish you guys much success in all that you do. And we encourage you as the viewer to reach out. If one of these chapters really resonates with you, reach out to the author and have that conversation. You know, it just is being open, because you just never know where a conversation can lead. I think back to, I don't know how many years it's been. It seems like a long time. It seems like I've known you forever, Mel, from just reaching out on LinkedIn, right? Reaching out on LinkedIn to a Facebook Live. And here we are today. So we've been business partners, and just a number
We've done
of
a lot together. You were in our summit in 2021 when we did our 6-hour live summit. You were part of that too. So
yeah,
I mean, it's I know, girl, we go back.
it's been a minute for sure. I love it. So, and thank all of you ladies so much for being here. And please come back. Keep us updated. You know, whenever you're speaking or have events, that's really what we're about, because, you know, I feel like I have learned to just expand my network. It just reminds me of my household, right? I can't do it all, you know, so if I think that I can, I'm going to be in trouble, you know, so just having more hands helping out, it's just the more the merrier. So really love what you guys are doing. And thanks so much for being here, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
It's been a pleasure.
Welcome. So you've heard it here that this book is going to be out on Mother's Day. And so we are wishing them much success. And I have a quick little clip from one of my children for Mother's Day. So we're going to conclude with that. But want to thank you guys all for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
So it's Mother's Day. I just want to come on here to say Happy Mother's Day to my mom. I love you so much. I appreciate all you've done. I appreciate all the siblings you've given me, and all the sacrifices you made as my mom. I really don't know what I would do without you. I'm super grateful and super blessed to call you my mom and to be able to experience life with you still by my side, and to be able to call you whenever I need you and know that you're going to be there for me. So I love you, Mommy. I hope this was the best Mother's Day ever, and I wish that you have many, many more. Love you.